So many wonderful people here. It's unbelievable. So much talent, so much beauty. Where'd Beautiful Bee go? Thank you, Big Love Band. So I actually kind of want to talk about the darkness today. I know it's all about light, but we haven't talked about darkness. We haven't talked about the relationship between the darkness and the light. Because without darkness, there is no light. Without light, there is no darkness. You know, if you think about a candle burning in a dark room, the beauty of the candle is beautiful because it's a dark room. Right? If you think about stars in the sky, they're beautiful because there's darkness surrounding them. So we could make it, the way we talk about this could make it seem like we're trying to get rid of the light, or we're trying to dispel the darkness. The darkness, or we're trying to go through as if somehow our discovering the light within will make our path forward pain-free or trouble-free. And that's just not really how it works, right? Do you agree? Yeah. It doesn't work that way, really, but the darkness serves a value. If you want a rose, you have to accept the thorns, right? If you want the rainbow, you have to accept the rain. You can't have one without the other. So the relationship between light and dark is a very critical one. And when I want to acknowledge your darkness or your shadow, it's called many, many things, those parts of you that you don't love and embrace tenderly, the parts that you think need to go somewhere, we want to embrace them. You know, we were talking on Wednesday at the Wednesday study group. We were talking about how I think that if we do have a goal, it should be to have new problems. We should have new darkness. Like, I think if you're going to be afraid of the tiger in front of you today, not afraid of the tiger that was in front of you when you were 3. So I think part of our goal on the spiritual path is to release the past and get living into present moment awareness, like today. And to do that, you have to come to terms with all of your human experiences, all of them. And at some moment, there is a wonderful awakening that happens when you realize that all of those dark experiences, no matter how dark, all of those troubles served your soul in amazing and light-filled ways. It must be that way. Now, by the way, another awareness I've had this week is that the light isn't in you. The light isn't personal. It's not like you have some light and you have some light and you don't have some light. Light is universal. Light is present, and our job, our role is to allow ourselves to be a lamp, that we are the candle, that God will light this light if you say yes to the light, if you want the light. You know, it's Meister Eckhart who said, you have to really want God to get God. Like, it's because, it sounds like I'm making noises up here. You have to really want to be transformed. You have to really want to be enlightened, because it's not an easy path. Because in your lightening up, and you're allowing yourself to be lit up, you have to have a conversation with yourself about your darkness. You have to come to terms with it. And by the way, what we would call in Science of Mind, in this philosophy, is if you don't come to terms with it, then you're just spiritually bypassing all of that. And we don't want to spiritually bypass anything. You don't want to deny or argue with or pretend that something didn't happen to you, or that the world isn't doing what it's doing. We know that darkness is out there. By the way, darkness is also not personal. It's science of mind. We live in a universal presence, a universal space, like ethers. And we are like radio receivers. We're like, you'll hear us say sometimes, well, yesterday I downloaded. All we mean when we say that is that we caught something in consciousness. And even what I'm saying now, it's not like it's going to make any sense to everybody, but you can catch it in consciousness. That the light is universal and available to you. The darkness is universal and available to you and through you. And it is. You can see darkness in action, right? We can see darkness in action. You turn on the news, there's darkness in action. Even for yourself, you remember days when you were, face down in a bucket of beer or down on your knees praying for relief or something, buckets of darkness. And something happens, and somebody lights this candle in you, and all of a sudden, the beauty of who you are is revealed to you. It's like, oh, I'm not that. I'm not that person. I'm not that story. I'm not only human. There's something in me that is transcendent and whole and perfect. Something in me that is meaningful and valuable. So Brene Brown says, when we are brave enough to explore the darkness, we will discover the infinite power of our light. When we are brave enough. So I love this idea of bravery because, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Alcoholics Anonymous or whatever Anonymous you might be familiar with. But they talk a lot about the courage it takes to tell your story, the courage it takes to be seen from bottom to top, from inside out. Do you know how many of us walk around? It's kind of the beauty of Catholic confession, too. How many of you have ever been in a confessional? Many of you, I'm sure. And even though we make fun of it and maybe don't agree with all of it, the fact is there's something very powerful in being witnessed. It's a little bit what our practitioners do here. They go through years of training so that you can sit in front of them and tell them anything, and they will know the truth about you. They will know that in you is a light of love and good and kindness and compassion, and that whatever you're telling them isn't the truth about you. Now, is it the truth that maybe you did it, or the truth that somebody did something to you? Yes, maybe. But even then, that's just the darkness without the candle. So I love this idea. We all have somewhere in us, in psychology, they might call it a mortal wound. The wound of, I'm not good enough, I don't matter, I'm basically bad. And that all of us must look that right in the face, look it in the eye and say, get out of here. Because it's not true. It's just not true. And it doesn't mean the act isn't true. The same way when you watch the news, we don't say, oh, that war didn't happen or that travesty didn't happen. We don't say it's not happening. It may be a fact, but it's not true. We're not bound to the darkness. If we were, we would have self-destructed so long ago. We would not be even having this conversation. Your shadow side, the side we don't want to look at, and by the way, that can be trivial as well. It could just be that in your heart of hearts you know you're selfish, or in your heart of hearts you know things about yourself that you judge and don't like. And then there are other degrees of darkness, as well as other degrees of light. Edith Wharton said there are two ways of spreading light. One is to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. So Khalil Gibran says, out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. Can you see that for yourself? Can you identify areas in your long life where your suffering has made you more compassionate, more kind, more clear, more loving, more giving, more interested in other people? Most of us don't come to this on our own because my mother never said to me, Denise, you are the most loving, beautiful, kind human being I've ever met, and you're going to do great things in this world. Never. She didn't say anything bad either, but it was neutral, right? Clean up your room. Stop chewing with your mouth open, whatever it was, right? So we're really not taught the rule book of life. We're really not taught about the expectation and how to, all of you, I know we've all had this. Somebody dies in your family and nobody ever talks about it. They don't show you, they don't take you to the funeral, right? I remember being a little girl and we were walking and the dog got hit by a car in front of us and died. It was one of the most traumatic experiences I've ever had. Do you think one person in my family said, honey, let's talk about grief. Let's talk about what this was like for you, right? So we kind of push all that down and we find ourselves grown-up people and we're like wolves. We don't really know how to reach out and connect with each other. We don't know how to get light from others. We don't know how to express it ourselves. So that's kind of what we're doing here. But I wanted to talk about, Well, I'm missing a slide on out of suffering. Did you see this slide? Out of suffering has emerged the strongest souls? No, you didn't see that. Okay, well, I think it's gone, but that's okay. It's in here. So how many of you have heard of the phoenix rising? The phoenix. This is such an interesting mythology because the phoenix is this beautifully colored bird of gold and red. And it lives for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years. And when it's preparing to die, it does not go lightly. It actually builds a nest of sweet-smelling things like cinnamon and myrrh, and then it lights the nest on fire and it burns. So it lights the fire of its own destruction. But what makes this story quite beautiful is that out of the fire, out of the ashes of what was, a new bird arises, a younger bird, a stronger bird, a renewed bird. Now, what is reborn, what was destroyed, is the foundation of what becomes reborn. It's really also our story. That's why it's told over and over and over again, because out of our ashes, we rise up. Out of our ashes, if we're lucky and brave, we will find ourselves surrounded by light bearers, people who are not afraid of our despair. People are not afraid of being uncomfortable around us, who can be way showers for us to rise above what appears to be the end of our life, whether figuratively or in reality. So at its heart, the phoenix story is not about destruction, it's about rebirth and transformation. It's about rising. The phoenix reminds us that even in our darkest moments, rebirth is possible. So this conversation is useful, right? Yes, and especially it's the time of the solstice, it's time of light. But again, we're going to celebrate most of the light in the darkness with light in it, like fireplaces and candlelights. And seeing how those two things play with one another. Now, once you see the light in you, once you recognize it, once you know it's there, and by the way, you don't have to claim it because it's really everywhere. The light is everywhere. It's not personal. It's universal. It's global. It's the cosmos is made of light. And all we really need to do is say yes to it. So I will love the light, for it shows me the way, yet I will endure the darkness because it shows me the stars. The light shows you the way, the darkness shows you the light. It's a beautiful analogy. So again, you can't have a rose without a thorn. This beautiful flower comes with the underbelly. You can't have the rainbow without the rain. Of course, I happen to love the rain, so it's not the same as the thorn. So the importance of having a spiritual center like this one is not necessarily a religious purpose, though I love that you might come here and find your God, your spirit, your faith. I love that that could happen for you here. I hope it does, actually. But way more important is the people that are sitting here. Way more important, because they're going to be the light bearers when you need one. How many people have been walked through a problematic time in your life by this community? How many people in this room have been walked through a death, a hard time, an illness? Yes, it's so we learn to shine our light and we learn to receive the light of others. And in this community, in this faith and way of life, we are not judged. We are not made wrong. We are not criticized. And if any of that's happening, come see me. And I will take up my ruler. No, I was never a nun. No. Maybe not. Maybe. Maybe. So this is the last Sunday before Christmas Eve. So we're moving into the high point of our celebration. We're actually doing an interfaith prayers of peace, interfaith candle lighting service for peace. This world needs peace right now. We need peace right now. So I do hope you'll join us. But let us do our wonderful affirmation for today, so that we may get this party set up. So I'm going to read it first, and then you'll read it with gusto and enthusiasm after me. I will not fear my darkness. I will be brave. I will not fear my light. I will be daring. I embrace the adventure of being me. Okay, now I want you to read it straight through with gusto. Go. Yes. And shine your light, and so it is.